The massive Confederation spaceship hung over Earth's defense station in orbit. It made humanity's best space buildings look tiny. Inside the meeting room, Admiral Park stood straight, even though sweat formed on his forehead. "I will not say this again, human," came General Dole's words through the translator machine. The tall alien with scales blinked his extra eyelids, showing he was annoyed. "Give us your weapon called the Beast right now, or we will take this as an act of war." Admiral Park looked at his team members, feeling worried. "General, I promise you, we have shown you all our weapons as you asked. We don't have any biological weapon like what you're describing." The alien general's head ridge puffed up. "Our information is perfect. We have seen many pictures of this creature you keep near you. It gets into your protected areas, lives with your people, and causes strong feelings before it attacks. This mind warfare is like nothing we've seen before. Sir, there must be some mistake." "No more." The general hit the table with his claw-like hand. "You have 3 Earth days to obey." Admiral Park took a deep breath. This was the 4th meeting this week, and they were going nowhere. Earth had only discovered they weren't alone in the universe 6 months ago when the Confederation ships appeared near Mars. First talks went well enough, but then came these strange demands. "General Dole," Park tried again, keeping his voice calm. "Perhaps if you could show us images of this beast, we might better understand what you're looking for." The alien made a sound like rocks grinding together, which the humans had learned was their laugh. "You play innocent well, Admiral. Very well." General Dole tapped something on his wrist device. A large screen on the wall lit up, showing pictures from Earth's internet. People hugging dogs, children playing with puppies, a woman sleeping with a golden retriever on her bed. "These weapons," Dole said, pointing a long claw at the images. "The ones you call beasts and good boys in your communication networks." Admiral Park blinked in surprise. "Those are dogs, General. They're pets." Pets. The translator seemed to struggle with the word. "Companion animals. They live with us because we enjoy their company." The alien's skin changed to a deeper blue color. "You expect me to believe you keep deadly predators in your sleeping quarters for company?" One of Park's team members, Captain Kim, stepped forward. "Sir, if I may, my family has kept dogs for generations. They're loyal, loving creatures, not weapons." General Dole's eyes narrowed to slits. "Our research shows these creatures have been modified over thousands of your years through selective breeding. They were wolves, were they not? Vicious pack hunters." "Well, yes, but—" "And you shaped them to follow your commands without question," Dole continued. "They guard your homes, attack on your order, and show complete obedience." Admiral Park could see how this might look to a species that had never developed such relationships. "It's not like that, General. Dogs and humans evolve together. There's mutual benefit, mutual affection." Affection. The word seemed to disgust the alien. "You claim to feel emotional attachment to a tool." Captain Kim spoke again. "They're not tools, sir. They're family." The general's skin rippled, a sign of strong emotion. "Family. You consider another species as kin. This is even more disturbing than we thought." Admiral Park realized they were dealing with a fundamental cultural gap. The Confederation clearly had no concept of cross-species bonding that wasn't based on use or function. "General, I think we need to show you, not just tell you," Park said carefully. "Would you allow us to demonstrate what dogs truly are?" The alien commander considered this for a long moment. The human delegation held their breath. "Very well," General Dole finally said. "You may bring one specimen for examination, but it will be heavily guarded, and at the first sign of aggression, we will eliminate it." "Fair enough," Park agreed, already thinking of whose dog would make the best impression. "Tomorrow, then." "Tomorrow," Dole confirmed, rising to his full height. "But remember, Admiral, 3 rotations until we expect full compliance. If we are not satisfied with your explanation, We will consider this deception an act of war." As the alien delegation left the room, Admiral Park turned to his team. "Get me the friendliest, most well-behaved dog on this station. Our first interstellar war might just depend on a wagging tail." Lieutenant Han ran fast through the hallways of Earth Defense Command headquarters. Her shoes made quick tapping sounds on the floor as she rushed past surprised workers. She held her tablet tightly against her chest. For 18 hours straight, she had been looking at the Confederation's demands. Now, finally, she understood. She didn't even knock when she reached Admiral Park's office. The door slid open, and she burst in. "Sir," she said, a little out of breath, "I think I know what the beast is." Admiral Park was standing over a large table with glowing maps showing Earth's defenses. Dark circles under his eyes showed he hadn't slept much. He looked up at Han with tired eyes. "I'm listening," he said. Lieutenant Han moved to his side and placed her tablet on top of his maps. Her fingers quickly pulled up files and images. "They've been watching our TV shows, our internet, our social media. Everything," she explained. "Look at these things they mentioned in their reports." Admiral Park leaned closer to see the screen. There were hundreds of social media posts highlighted. People sharing photos with captions like, "My little beast is so happy today," and "Playing with the beast in the park," and even "The beast took over my bed again." All of these posts that talk about beasts, she continued, swiping through more images. They're not talking about weapons. The Admiral's eyes widened as understanding began to dawn. "Wait, are they talking about?" "Dogs, sir," Lieutenant Han finished for him. "They think our dogs are biological weapons." Admiral Park blinked several times, processing this information. He walked slowly to his chair and sat down. "You're telling me," he said slowly, "that we're on the edge of an interstellar war because aliens are afraid of puppies?" Lieutenant Han nodded. She touched her tablet again and showed him a picture of a golden-colored dog with a happy face and tongue hanging out. "My sister's golden retriever, specifically," she explained. "His name is Maru. He's 3 years old, and he's afraid of the vacuum cleaner." Admiral Park looked at the dog's picture, then back at Lieutenant Han, then back at the dog. Suddenly, he started laughing. It began as a small chuckle, but grew into deep, full laughter. It was the first time anyone had heard him laugh since the aliens arrived. "This is the deadly beast they're afraid of?" he asked, pointing at the smiling dog. "Yes, sir. One of the pictures they showed us yesterday was from my sister's social media account. Maru's sleeping on her bed." Han paused. "She always calls him her sweet beast in her posts." Admiral Park's laughter faded as he realized the seriousness of the situation. "So the Confederation has no concept of pets?" he asked. "It seems that way, sir. I've been studying their culture from what little they've shared. The Confederation species all evolved as solitary hunters. They came together only for protection and resources. They don't form emotional bonds with other species. And they see our relationship with dogs as us creating biological weapons that use emotional attacks," Han finished. "They think we bred wolves into dogs to make weapons that trick enemies with cuteness before attacking." Admiral Park rubbed his temples. "No wonder they're terrified. They think we've mastered some kind of psychological warfare they can't understand." Lieutenant Han took a deep breath. "Sir, I have a suggestion. My sister works at the space station. Maru is with her, one of the first pets allowed on an orbital station as part of the Emotional Support Animal Program. And you think we should show them Maru?" "Yes, sir. Let them meet a real dog. Let them see he's not a weapon." Admiral Park thought for a moment. "It's risky. What if they attack him out of fear?" "Maru has never met a stranger, sir. Only vacuum cleaners scare him. He even likes the station's maintenance robots." The Admiral stood up, decision made. "Call your sister. Tell her to bring Maru to the diplomatic meeting room in 2 hours." "Yes, sir." As Han turned to leave, Park added, "And Lieutenant, Sir, good work. You may have just saved Earth from our first interstellar war. Lieutenant Han smiled. All thanks to my sister's fear of living alone in space, sir. As she hurried out to call her sister, Han couldn't help but think how strange it was. Humans had always imagined first contact would lead to sharing advanced technology or philosophical debates. Instead, the fate of Earth might rest on a golden retriever who was afraid of vacuum cleaners. The air in the diplomatic chamber felt heavy. No one spoke. The human soldiers stood on one side, the alien visitors on the other. Admiral Park stood in the middle, waiting. The doors slid open. Lieutenant Han walked in slowly. Beside her walked Maru, a golden-colored dog with soft fur and bright eyes. Maru moved happily on his leash, his tongue hanging out of his mouth. His tail swung from side to side. The effect on the aliens was instant. General Dole and his team jumped back. They pulled out their weapons, small devices that glowed with blue light. You dare bring this bioweapon to negotiations? General Dole shouted. His skin changed colors quickly, going from blue to almost purple. Admiral Park held up his hands to show he meant no harm. This is Maru, he said in a calm voice. He's what we call a pet, a companion animal. The aliens didn't lower their weapons. General Dole's eyes stayed fixed on Maru, who was now looking around the room with interest. That creature is deadly, General Dole insisted. Our intelligence shows these beasts can break down emotional defenses with a single look. Lieutenant Han looked at Admiral Park, who nodded slightly. May I? She asked. Then, before anyone could stop her, she unhooked Maru's leash. The alien delegation pushed themselves against the wall. Some made high-pitched sounds that their translators didn't catch. They expected an attack. But Maru didn't attack. Instead, the golden retriever spotted General Dole and trotted right up to him. His tail wagged so fast, it was almost a blur. The humans in the room held their breath. Maru sat down directly in front of the terrified alien general and lifted his right front paw into the air. He held it there, looking up at General Dole with his head slightly tilted. He wants you to shake, Lieutenant Han explained softly. It's a greeting. General Dole looked at the dog's raised paw, then at the humans, then back at the dog. No one moved. It's safe, Admiral Park assured him. This is how dogs make friends. Very slowly, General Dole lowered his weapon. His hand shook slightly as he reached toward Maru's paw. The other aliens watched in silent horror, as if their leader was touching a bomb. Maru waited patiently. When the alien's clawed hand got close enough, Maru gently placed his soft paw in General Dole's palm. Then the dog barked once, a happy, friendly sound, and his tail thumped against the floor. The alien general's extra eyelids fluttered rapidly. The humans would later learn this was a sign of complete surprise. It didn't attack, General Dole said, his voice sounding different now. Lieutenant Han corrected gently. Maru is a he, not an it. And no, he won't attack. He's friendly. Maru chose that moment to show just how friendly he was. He stood up on his back legs and put his front paws on General Dole's chest, trying to lick his face. The alien leader made a strange sound, something between fear and confusion. Oh, I'm sorry. Lieutenant Han rushed forward and gently pulled Maru back. He's trying to give you kisses. He really likes you. Likes me. General Dole seemed unable to understand these words together. Admiral Park stepped closer now. General, I think we need to explain something important about Earth culture. When humans found wolves thousands of years ago, we didn't turn them into weapons. We formed a partnership. Partnership with another species. General Dole's skin was slowly returning to its normal blue color. Yes, said Lieutenant Han, petting Maru's head. Dogs give us friendship, protection, and companionship. We give them food, shelter, and love. It's a relationship that benefits both species. One of the other aliens, smaller than General Dole, moved forward slightly. What is love? The translator seemed to struggle with the word. The humans exchanged glances. How could they explain love to a species that had no concept of it? Admiral Park thought for a moment. Love is caring for another's well-being as much as your own, sometimes more. General Dole looked down at Maru, who had sat back down and was now looking up at him with what humans would call a smile. And you feel this love for these creatures? Yes, Lieutenant Han said simply. Maru is part of my sister's family. Family? Another alien asked. It's soft, General Dole said with wonder in his voice. For the first time since the aliens had arrived, the humans felt hope. Maybe friendship wasn't just a human concept after all. 3 hours had passed since Maru first met General Dole. The meeting that had started with drawn weapons and threats now looked very different. The human and alien teams sat in a circle on the floor of the diplomatic chamber. In the middle of this circle, General Dole sat cross-legged on a cushion. Maru was stretched across the alien's scaled feet, fast asleep. The general's long, clawed fingers gently stroked the dog's golden fur. His touch was careful, as if Maru might break. But the dog showed no fear, only trust. You keep these creatures for no purpose? General Dole finally asked. His voice was softer now. The harsh metallic quality of earlier was gone. Lieutenant Han smiled. They have a purpose, she explained. Companionship. Humans and dogs have evolved together for thousands of years. Admiral Park nodded from where he sat. They help us hunt, protect our homes, but mostly they're our friends. Friends. General Dole said the word slowly, as if tasting it. In Confederation space, all life forms serve clear functions. None are kept solely for emotional exchange. One of the other aliens, who had introduced herself as Science Officer Tech, moved closer to look at Maru. So these are not bred for combat. Our records show many different types of these. Dogs. We call them breeds, Lieutenant Han explained. Yes, there are hundreds of different types of dogs. Some were bred to help with hunting, some for protection, some for herding other animals. But all of them are companions first. Maru shifted in his sleep, making a small sound. General Dole froze, then relaxed when the dog simply rolled onto his side, exposing his belly. He trusts you, Lieutenant Han said. That's why he shows his most vulnerable spots. General Dole looked down at the sleeping dog. Trust between different species. This is unusual to us. That's why you misunderstood. Lieutenant Han said gently. When humans call dogs beasts, it's affectionate, like calling someone strong or powerful, but with love. Love for another species. General Dole's head crest flattened against his skull, which the humans now knew meant he was thinking deeply. This concept does not exist in our culture. Admiral Park leaned forward slightly. Perhaps, he suggested carefully, this is something our species could share with yours. The room fell silent. The alien delegation looked at each other. Their skin colors shifted slightly as they communicated in ways humans couldn't understand. Science Officer Tech broke the silence. You say these dogs have been with humans for thousands of years. How did this relationship begin? Lieutenant Han thought for a moment. Our scientists believe that some wolves began following human hunting groups. They ate the food humans left behind. Over time, the friendliest wolves stayed closer to humans. Both sides benefited. A mutual evolution. Tech asked, her eyes widening. Fascinating. Yes, Admiral Park said. Neither forced the other. It was a choice made over many generations. General Dole looked around at his team, then back at the humans. In our history, all relationships between species involve one controlling the other. The strong use the weak. This partnership is new to us. Maru chose that moment to wake up. He yawned widely, showing all his teeth. Several aliens moved back slightly, but General Dole didn't flinch. The dog looked up at the alien, then licked his scaled hand once before setting his head back down. "You see," Lieutenant Han said, "he has teeth that could bite, but he chooses not to. That's trust." General Dole was quiet for a long time. When he spoke, his voice had changed. It was fuller, warmer somehow. "My species evolved as solitary hunters," he said. "We came together only for protection and breeding. Even now, we do not connect, as you humans seem to do." "But you're connecting with Maru," Admiral Park pointed out. The alien general looked surprised, then thoughtful. "Yes," he admitted. "I feel something. It is unfamiliar." Lieutenant Han smiled. "That's the beginning of friendship." "Friendship," General Dole repeated, "with a creature from another world." Admiral Park saw an opportunity. "General, would you like to learn more about our relationship with dogs? Perhaps visit Earth to see how we live with them?" The aliens all looked at each other again. Then General Dole did something the humans hadn't seen before. His mouth curved slightly upward in what almost looked like a smile. "Yes," he said, "I would like that very much, and perhaps, maybe," Admiral Park suggested, "instead of trying to explain everything at once, you could spend some time with Maru. Actions might explain better than words." General Dole looked at his team, then back at the dog. Slowly, he put his weapon away completely. Then, even more slowly, he reached out and touched Maru's head. Maru leaned into the touch, closing his eyes in happiness. He hesitated. "Perhaps some of my people would like to experience this companionship too." Lieutenant Han couldn't believe what she was hearing. "Are you suggesting a cultural exchange?" General Dole finished. "Your dogs for our understanding." And just like that, with a sleeping golden retriever as the unlikely ambassador, the first true bridge between humans and the Confederation began to form. 6 months had passed since the day Maru first put his paw in General Dole's hand. The golden retriever that had once been feared as a deadly weapon now had puppies, and one of them, a small female named Saul, rarely left the alien general's side. Lieutenant Han was now Ambassador Han. She stood on a high platform on the Confederation homeworld. The air here had a sweet smell, and the two suns made everything look bright and colorful. Next to her stood General Dole, taller and more impressive in his home environment. Between them sat 2 dogs, Maru, now older and calmer, and Sol, young and full of energy. Below them, thousands of aliens from different worlds gathered in the great square. Some looked like General Dole, with scales and crests. Others had different shapes and colors, but they all looked up at the platform with interest. "The Interspecies Companionship Initiative has been approved," General Dole announced, his voice carrying across the square. "Earth will provide training and suitable companion animals to any Confederation citizen who wishes to participate." A murmur went through the crowd. 6 months ago, the idea of keeping another species as a friend would have seemed strange and dangerous. Now, many were eager to try. Ambassador Han stepped forward. "And Earth formally accepts membership in the Galactic Confederation," she said clearly. "We are honored to join with the designation of Friendmakers, a title we're quite proud of." This was a huge moment for humanity. From almost going to war over a misunderstanding about dogs, to joining a galactic community of advanced species, all in just half a year. General Dole's hand rested gently on Saul's golden head. The puppy leaned into his touch, eyes half closed in happiness. The sight still surprised many aliens who weren't used to seeing their fearsome military leader being gentle. "Who would have thought," General Dole said, his voice softer now, "that the most powerful weapon humans possessed was their capacity for forming bonds with other species?" "Not a weapon at all," Ambassador Han corrected gently. "Just a sweet puppy." General Dole made the sound that humans now knew was laughter. "Yes, I stand corrected." After the ceremony, Han and Dole walked through the city streets. Maru trotted beside Han, and Sol bounced along next to the general, stopping to sniff at strange alien plants. "Look there," General Dole pointed. All around them, things were changing. Alien citizens walked with dogs of different breeds, some big, some small. Some aliens were still nervous, holding leashes tightly. Others were already comfortable, talking to their new companions as if they could understand every word. 200 dogs came on the first transport ship, Ambassador Han said. All from rescue shelters on Earth. Dogs that needed homes found them on other planets. And more are coming, General Dole asked. Yes, and not just dogs. Cats too, though they might be a different kind of challenge. General Dole's crest raised slightly in what Han now knew was amusement. More beasts to misunderstand. Probably, Han laughed. They stopped at a small park where several aliens were learning how to play fetch with their dogs. Human trainers showed them how to throw balls and give treats when the dogs brought them back. My scientists are still trying to understand it, General Dole admitted. How such different species can form such strong bonds. Maybe some things don't need scientific explanations, Han suggested. Sol returned to General Dole's side with a strange blue fruit in her mouth. She dropped it at his feet and looked up expectantly. She wants you to throw it, Han explained. General Dole picked up the fruit and tossed it gently. Sol ran after it with happy barks. 6 months ago, I thought these creatures were the deadliest weapons in the galaxy, the general said quietly. I was ready to declare war over them. And now I understand they are something much more powerful than weapons. They are bridges. Ambassador Han smiled. That's a beautiful way to put it. In the distance, they could see the huge Confederation Council building where, just that morning, Earth had been officially welcomed as the newest member world. The blue and green flag of Earth now flew alongside banners from 100 other planets. What do you think the future holds for us? General Dole asked as Sol returned with the fruit again. Han watched as Maru gently nudged an alien child who was afraid to pet him, showing patience and kindness. I think we'll keep learning from each other, she said. Humans, dogs, your people, we all have something to teach. General Dole nodded. From misunderstanding to friendship, from fear to family. Family, Han repeated. Yes, that's exactly what we're becoming. As the twin suns began to set, casting long shadows across the alien world, dogs and aliens and humans continued their ancient dance of friendship, a dance that had started on Earth thousands of years ago with wolves and hunters, and now continued among the stars. The end.